Good morning, everybody. I'm Andrea Pracher. I'm the Channel Account Manager for McAfee Enterprise in South Africa. I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to Access for putting this really innovative security day together to bring all these vendors to your homes or work if you're the lucky one to be back at work. And there's going to be so many different opportunities to learn about the different vendors that they have on offer for you today. I also wanted to say thank you to yourselves for showing up. This is a great opportunity to learn. This is a great opportunity to identify those really key elements that you can take to your customers and bring a better solution to them. While you have shown up, I would also like to implore you to try not multitask. I know there's going to be a lot of information, so try switch your phone off, try switch your email off, and try and learn as much as you can today. I think it's going to be a really exciting day. Let's get into it. So before I move on to what McAfee can do for you and your customers, I'd like you to come on a little journey with me. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine a really warm day. The sun is starting to rise. You step outside and you really get a good whiff of that salty air. You open your mouth ever so slightly and you can taste the little bit of salt on the edge of your tongue, on the tip of your tongue. And you walk down to the beach and you put your foot onto the warm sand and it feels really soft. And as you walk on the sand, you decide you're going to sit down, and the sand's soft, but it doesn't give way to your weight. You take your hand and you rub your hand through the sand, and annoyingly, there's some sand that goes under your fingernails. But it doesn't bother you too much because you hear the seagulls in just down by the water's edge. You can hear the waves crashing onto the seaside. And you pick up a handful of sand. And as you let the sand run through your fingers, you get that layer of sand that gets stuck to your hand. And to bring you back to reality, I want you to have a look at each one of those grains of sand that's stuck on your hand. And I want you to imagine that these grains of sand represent the tasks, the KPIs, the deliverables that the security managers, the security teams, the CIO in any organization has to get to on a daily, monthly, quarterly, annual basis. And each of these grains of sand is obviously representative of those tasks. And I know there's a lot of grains of sand on your hand at the moment, but it does equate to the number of tasks that these people have to action and secure. Now, to bring that back to McAfee, I would like you to, just for a moment, not think of the sand, but I'd like you to imagine that McAfee can help reduce that complexity. We can combine some of these things for you and your customers to make their jobs a little bit easier. So before I get into our corporate story, I want to acknowledge the recent news about the big things coming for our company, about McAfee Enterprise. I am truly excited about the opportunity ahead of us. But I want to share with you that even though there are some big changes coming to our organization with branding as a new company, at our core, we still have the same mission, the same vision, the same direction ahead. We are committed to helping our customers around the world to protect what matters most, and committed to being the most trusted cybersecurity partner in the industry. We have a bright future ahead. We will be there for our customers and our partners like yourselves every step of the way. And we'll work hard to help solve customers' challenges and partner with you, and you can trust a partner that you can trust. So what we hear, an important part of how we work with customers worldwide to deliver their security outcomes is to get a deep understanding of their business and their priorities. This allows us to take an approach to security for each customer that is tailored to support the business and not hold it back. What we found in our customers' engagements over the past few years is that there are some common priorities between some of the customers, partners, and regardless of the industry, the organization, the size, or the country where they're located, each of them is transforming their business at an accelerated rate. Shifting customer attitudes and behaviors have accelerated the creation and adoption of digital business models. And there is a need for security to support this transformation and not slow it down. Stopping the threats and reducing risks are goals that are universally held. And rising to the board level, in a world where high-profile breaches have disrupted businesses and compromised the relationships of trust with their customer, today's adversary has a variety of motives. Sophisticated attack approaches and lower-cost resources readily available to apply them. Staying ahead of that adversary, defeating them before they attack, is the ultimate mitigator, and we will discuss this a little bit more in this presentation. So driving efficiency is an ask of us everywhere, making more effective use of fixed working and human capital. It is applicable to the CISO, the COO, or the CFO. Vendor consolidation, migrating security infrastructure to the cloud, reducing the gap in the time between detection and remediation are all examples of how we have helped customers drive efficiencies, outcomes, and there are many, many new ways which we will reveal today. While there's a common set of goals across the organizations, there is also something else in common between them. Each business must deliver on these goals in an environment of growing complexity. And I'm sure you as partners have also seen that growing complexity. Whether that complexity is born from a diverse real estate of multiple form factors and operating environments, complying to evolving government regulations, or shifting applications and workloads to the cloud. It varies from one organization to the next, which is why McAfee and our partners, as yourselves, work with each customer and tailor an approach to a solution for security that best fits each unique environment. But we're at a really interesting point in time at the moment. As what was once assumed was common has shifted, demands on security have increased. And we're adapting to the enforced changes of working remotely. Companies that used to have perhaps 10,000 staff across 50 offices found themselves with 50 offices almost overnight, creating challenges for departments from HR to finance and inevitably to security. And the security teams were further challenged with an incredibly rapid increase in COVID-related phishing scams and the speed at which adversaries, old and new, adapted their approaches to benefit from the potentially insecure access corporate employees had to their networks. Further, we saw companies and employees alike rapidly innovating and adopting new collaboration tools, some sanctioned, some not. And all of this generated an urgency for transformation. the like of which few of us had ever witnessed before. Deploying new technologies for network access, rolling out tools like Microsoft Teams or Zoom video conferencing, enabling employees to access corporate applications from personal devices or across insecure network connections, or both. Almost 12 months later, it all started to feel much more like a new reality, a new normal. It settled down, however, but a lot of those technologies appear to be working well. But whilst we take a breath and relax, it's critical that businesses examine these new environments and ask a key question. We know we addressed the crisis. Did we do it in the right way? In other words, if we had time again and had the opportunity to plan it all properly, would we end up where we are? Have we got an environment that does just the job, or is it optimal? And are we ready for what comes next? Did we fix the problem just for one moment in time? Or did we ensure that we are ready for what comes next? A lot has been said about the change that COVID-19 has brought about. But in truth, what really happened in 2020 was not move to a new workplace, but rather an acceleration of the workplace shift that was already happening. I mean, lots of people were talking about it. The new reality is one in which the concept of having an enterprise network perimeter, which can be secured and that can be policed to ensure that sensitive data always remains securely inside, doesn't apply anymore. Each and every employee now potentially operates out of their own unique office and accesses company data, applications, and resources from multiple devices across unsecured networks. The net effect of this new workplace is that there has been an enormous increase in cloud utilization. Collaboration tools, especially from most cloud services, have seen an increase, and it has happened across almost every single industry. It's clear that customers are looking for confidence in their security, confidence that they won't be tomorrow's front page news article, and confidence that their security policies are protecting them and allowing their business processes to function properly and their employees to work productively. We want to be able to achieve these things without cost soaring, without headcount increases, and yet still guaranteeing that as business requirements change, they are able to quickly and effectively adapt to this and support those changes. At McAfee, we believe that the only way to balance all of these different priorities is to implement a consistent security architecture. Too many different vendors and attempting to use point solutions for every single changing challenge simply won't scale in the way it needs to. What's needed is a security platform, one built using common and open standards, supporting the principles of integration and consistent management. It is vital that, for example, DLP policies are not only consistent across cloud environments, local networks, and different types of devices, but that those policies can be deployed across those different systems simultaneously and simply. The optimal solution is clearly to have one DLP engine and one management console for which works seamlessly irrespective of whether the user is accessing data stored on a corporate-owned server or in the cloud, whether they are accessing the data locally or remotely, or whether they're doing their work on a managed or unmanaged device. You can choose to implement different policies in these situations, but you need the ability to define them all centrally and push them out from all and one place. It's how you can ensure that there are no gaps or inconsistencies. The confidence that a single platform with centralized management can provide is further enhanced when you know that the straightforward tasks always getting done quickly and correctly with minimal effort. Ensure that your scarce, skilled resources can be put to good use in the more complex areas where they are most needed. To achieve this, you need a level of automation. Something hard to achieve without first having the integration we already spoken about. And automation does not only bring better security outcomes, but it also brings significant business benefits, increasing efficiency, reducing costs, and more flexibility from the security teams to support new projects. McAfee MVISION platform was purpose-built with previously these goals in mind, delivering true device-to-cloud security with a single pane of glass management and reporting, and simple policy deployment across systems, all underpinned by cloud-native architecture built on open standards. Our platform is designed to be simple and flexible to your specific needs. We have an MVISION device-to-cloud suite that takes complexity out of the vendor and product selection. Simply match your security needs with any of the advanced, premium, or complete offerings. We also know that no one single vendor can deliver all security outcomes, which is why our platform is open. With over 140 partners have integrated their solutions into our platform, enabling automation and orchestration of various security controls from within a unified security management environment. And because we have open sourced our integration hooks into APIs such as OpenDXL and CASB Connect, you have the ability to extend the platform in any direction you choose. With the new set of challenges we've all faced, there was a great sense of urgency to find new solutions. Deploying to the cloud is one way to reduce the time to value of security infrastructure. McAfee's MVISION platform is cloud native, and what was once a hardware appliance, such as a web secure gateway, is now a highly available and scalable security service. It has been a dynamic 12 months, actually a little bit longer, 18 months. But McAfee has been there with our customers to ensure that each organization, its employees and systems and data, and its customers have been safe in a world that remains highly unpredictable. Whether it's securing a remote working model that a lot of us found ourselves in, deploying countermeasures and approaches to getting ahead of the adversaries as they emerge, or securing new innovations that underpin the reimagination of service delivery and consumption models. We worked with our customers on each one and with a shared sense of urgency and purpose to get it all done. Our approach to product innovation ensures our customers are prepared for whatever challenges this year brings, and the next and beyond. The most significant challenge in securing our users' systems and data in this absurd, unpredictable environment is that of ensuring visibility and control. Irrespective of where users are connecting from, their devices or their networks, only McAfee provides cybersecurity from device to cloud with unprecedented visibility and control, access, all threat vectors, endpoint, network, and cloud. This comprehensive visibility and control often makes the difference when protecting what matters. The next challenge is accelerating the move to the cloud, now more than ever, as you enable your remote and distributed workforce. McAfee's cloud-first architecture quickly and safely transitions you to the cloud, maximizing business results and allowing you to deploy and manage endpoint security, cloud security, and your secure access security service edge, the SASE, all from the cloud. Enhancing agility, lowering costs and risk. You don't need to do anything on-prem. It's all in the cloud. The third and perhaps most profound challenge is how we get ahead of the advanced adversaries. To mitigate the risk of exposure, while also monitoring for emerging threats. We will future-proof your security operations center with proactive risk management, analyze global threats, identify those that are most relevant to you, and help you proactively strengthen your defenses against them. Let's shift left and get ahead of the adversaries. This is McAfee's approach. This is a device-to-cloud security platform, and it delivers holistic threat protection and data protection across all devices, all applications, and for users everywhere. We have seen an explosion in cloud usage over the course of 2020. Companies have innovated both by choice and also necessity, and adversaries have innovated just as rapidly. As we have all increased our use of collaboration services, migrated apps to the cloud, and leveraged the inherent scalability that the cloud has to offer, so too have cyber criminals turned their attention to the use of these new applications and new access methodologies. The need to secure both these cloud-native applications and the routes users are taking to access them is paramount. There is a strong industry consensus that basing security policies on the concept of zero trust is the most sensible long-term approach. But with zero trust comes the potential for business interruption, and the need to ensure that the various elements of security are coordinated and integrated is vital. We need to validate a user's identity and their access to the systems, applications, and data. But we cannot afford to validate and revalidate on a continual basis without affecting the user's productivity or experience. A simple example is once a user validates their authority to access the application and a data set, then they must be allowed to unhindered access to it. We cannot expect a database access revalidation for each and every record retrieved. At the same time, zero trust dictates that we don't simply provide unfettered access. So if the security validation is at the point of access, it must also be tied to the data loss prevention policies. It's entirely possible we want to allow data viewing but not data copying. It also needs to be tied to other forms of authentication. Maybe we should allow viewing for a user on a managed device, but the same user on an unmanaged device should be blocked. Or copying is allowed to the managed device, but viewing only policy is demanded otherwise. We might want to allow copying to a corporate OneDrive account, but not the personal OneDrive account. Which means that we need to seamlessly tie to a web authentication process as well. In short, the security controls across the entire of Secure Access Service Edge, SASE infrastructure, should integrate as much as possible with a single set of policies that can be implemented and managed from one single point. The increase in cloud usage and cloud threats means that security operations teams need to be ever more conscious of the cloud threats, and mature organizations are adding detection and remediation capabilities to their cloud security priorities. In the same way, that security endpoint platform have expanded from simply protecting endpoints to monitoring current status, identifying suspicious activity, reporting trace data, and providing a suite of tools to investigate and ultimately isolate and remediate infected devices. So we need to be thinking of our cloud instances in a similar manner. The MITRE ATT&CK framework has become the undisputed methodology of choice to achieve these goals, and McAfee's MVISION Cloud Suite is the only cloud access security broker to date that conforms to this standard. The cloud in all its forms is the primary enabler of many innovations today. Many elements of cloud security, especially in areas of IaaS and PaaS, are managed via a set of tools offered by a CSP, a cloud service provider. The controls that they provide and the configuration that users define have an enormous impact on the overall security of the environment, as much as the additional security solutions that are deployed on top. Correctly defining the security controls around S3 buckets in AWS has consequences just as profound as ensuring that a user is authenticated to access specific data sets before they can do so. Given the amount of application development now done using agile techniques in the cloud and the resulting testing environments that are set up, this is something security professionals need to pay close attention to. Application developers frequently remove security protocols when testing to ensure that the fundamentals of their code work as designed. If these loopholes are not closed before the code is pushed to a live environment, in essence, the result is a backdoor that's been left wide open. Cloud security posture management is a way of coordinating the various security options and protocols in order to ensure that live environments meet corporate standards. Equally, much of the application code is developed using pre-existing containers or open source code libraries. Customers need to ensure that these are also fully secure, and so having a way to validate the code as is being deployed, as well as identifying possible configuration drift, is a must. A cloud-native application platform brings all of these elements together to provide customers with confidence that all elements of their cloud deployments are under control. McAfee's MVISION Cloud provides security at breadth and depth, whether it's securing your company data in SaaS applications like Salesforce or building security into the cloud applications. You develop and remain competitive. MVISION Cloud is flexible to your needs. It's commonly accepted viewpoint that the earlier a threat can be stopped, the less damage it can do, and the less resources, i.e. cost, it takes to stop it. As security teams have become ever more overutilized, the need to find ways to achieve exactly these goals has become increasingly vital. And yet, we already know the best way to stop this, and that is to shift left. In this diagram is how a threat is developed and deployed, and the viewpoint where we have to put all our focus in intercepting them for years. First, they plan what they are going to do, what they are going to attack. They do their research. They define what their goals are, create a malicious code, test it, refine it, perfect it, and then they launch. And over time, it begins to spread until at some point, it hits your environment or your customer's environment. And at this point, at which your security posture is tested, should it fail, we have to discover as quickly as possible, 1, have you been compromised? 2, how have you been compromised? And 3, what damage has been done and when to begin to remediate it? Catching these threats earlier is quicker and cheaper. Why aren't we starting all our work before we get hit? Part of the reason for this is saying shift left and doing it are two very different things. To actually do it, teams need high quality, reliable, and current threat intelligence technologies. And McAfee, with its cross-platform, cross-industry, cross-geography, consumer, and enterprise, has more than 1 billion threat sensors, identifying risks of all types on a huge variety of platforms and operating systems, and from all points of origin, whether it's from cloud-orientated, network-orientated, or endpoint-orientated, whether they are old-school malware, phishing, or advanced persistent threats in the form of targeted attacks. But don't all security companies have great threat intelligence? It's certainly fair to say that many customers operating in this space or companies operating the space have the ability to generate some good intelligence. The question is worth asking: is good enough? The kinds of threats that businesses are facing are many and varied. Today, it might be employees being phished for credentials. Tomorrow, a wide-scale ransomware threat. The day after, a targeted threat on one of your cloud applications or an attempt to compromise your VPN. And on it goes. You're trying to protect your endpoints, Windows PCs, Macs, maybe the odd Linux-based device, not to mention mobile phones and tablets running the most recent iOS and or Android, and some that will undoubtedly be on older versions of those operating systems. You're trying to protect your traditional network, as well as new entry points into the network. You're trying to protect your applications, your data, your cloud services, SaaS, IaaS, and maybe PaaS. You're trying to validate your users, employees, and the wider supply chain to ensure no one is doing anything they shouldn't be, and trying not to get in the way so that they can continue being productive. It's a whole lot of moving parts across a massive range of applications, devices, and network connections. So to return to the topic of threat intelligence, you can rely on your network provider, but they will likely only know what network-based threats are in the environment. You could rely on your cloud service provider, but they're likely to only know what threats are in the cloud. Why is McAfee different? We have more than 1 billion sensors across all types of endpoints: the network, the cloud, the endpoint. We protect devices, applications, and data. So whether the type of threat and whether the source of the threat, we won't leave you with blind spots. We service 2.3 trillion real-time threat queries a year, which gives us a level of understanding far beyond what others can hope to achieve. This intelligence feeds our machine learning models and artificial intelligence engines, ensuring that our products benefit from the very latest information about what the bad guys are doing. And we also make it available to customers directly to help with the efforts to remediate potential threats. The depth, breadth, and always-on nature of McAfee intelligence helps us protect customers to respond to known threats immediately as they appear. A good example of this recent attack is the SolarWinds campaign, where as soon as a vulnerability had been reported, the McAfee team jumped into action. With access to this rich, reliable, and current threat intelligence, it was possible to correlate that input with contextual information from your own environment. This enables you to identify potential gaps and then the understanding to address potential issues. Even still, the sheer volume of threat intelligence can still swamp the security teams. It's therefore critical to be able to prioritize which threats and threat intelligence needs to be assessed first. Which threats are most likely to hit a specific organization? Which ones have the potential to do the most damage? Which ones a certain environment is most at risk from? This is where McAfee MVISION Insights comes in. Insights not only leverages McAfee billion sensor telemetry and the deep background intelligence generated by a threat intelligence research team, but it also correlates this with local context from your own environment in order to identify which specific systems in your real estate are at risk. So by analyzing the threats, establishing which exploits they use and which vulnerabilities they can leverage, then comparing that to identify any systems you have with those vulnerabilities, we can present you with an automatic, tailored, relevant, and prioritize list of what you actually need to do in order to inoculate your environment from a threat that hasn't even reached you yet. That is shift left. That is shifting left. That gives your teams the access to actionable information to enable them to do their jobs more effectively. And the net result is that without the need for more resources, you can proactively protect the environment against the threats that are most likely to hit you, and those most likely to cause significant damage. If we examine what that looks like in reality, you can quickly identify which campaigns are currently live, and importantly, the tool will automatically flag to you which subset you need to pay attention to first. You'll get instant visibility on how these campaigns are affecting your industry, your geography, and your own environment, as well as a more generic view of how prevalent they are globally. And now that you know which campaigns to look at first, you're going to want to understand is how they might affect you specifically. Well, insights will also introduce the local context and highlight any machines that should be immediately isolated from the network, as well as any others that are vulnerable and need to be addressed. Knowing that there are X number of machines in the environment susceptible to attack can raise concern. So we also provide an overall security score so that you can get a feel for how much confidence you should have when considering the bigger picture. This perspective and localized approach enables McAfee customers to shift left, protect themselves from from potential upcoming threats, and resolve threats that might have already hit. Critically, it also enables the security practitioners to have genuine knowledge and confidence in their security posture. So what does this mean from a security perspective? Well, the desire to ensure that employees and supply chains working from outside the traditional perimeter can not only access the correct services, but also do in a secure and strong manner. The challenge was exacerbated by the requirement to treat managed and unmanaged devices differently, irrespective of the service being requested. VPNs have been one, not especially scalable way of achieving this, but the increased use of SaaS and IaaS solutions has made this highly problematic for unmanaged devices. And due to the vastly accelerated timescales that the pandemic brought upon us all, there are customers who simply had no choice but to upscale their VPNs or apply traditional resources at existing technologies in the hope of fixing today's problem. But without having the time to plan and ensure that this was the best solution for both today and the future. But with time and perspective, it is clear that there is a better approach to security. In this cloud-first world, which we now live in, the best approach requires a mindset change from the old perimeter-orientated view to an approach based on adaptive trust. McAfee's goal is to ensure that customers can support their business objectives in a secure way, delivering new functionality, improved processes, and ultimately better ROI without either security getting in the way or security being breached. This is a fine balance, but McAfee Unified Cloud Edge is exactly what you get. All devices, whether managed or unmanaged, flow through a single secure entry point, ensuring that customers and employees and the supply chain can get access to what they need, but simultaneously ensuring that the business retains control over the security of the connection and the data. The security policies that are enforced are adapted depending on the service or data that is being accessed and the device being used to access it. Will a user be allowed to access it at all? Will the data be allowed to flow natively to and from that cloud service? Or will it need to pass through some other security checks? Will the user be allowed only to view the data or also copy it, edit it, download it? Will encryption of the data be enforced throughout the process or only at certain key junctures? All of these flexible policies can be implemented depending on a sequence of factors. But importantly, they will be visible to the user, keeping the business secure without interfering with the job that they have been chartered to do. We cannot trust everything, but we cannot trust nothing. It's about adapting the level of trust as appropriate. It's important to remember that customers are not moving to the cloud so they can say they've done so. They're doing it to leverage the flexibility and elasticity the cloud can provide to drive fast deployment and adoption of new technologies to support the core business function. We cannot allow security to get in the way of this, but we cannot allow security to take a backseat either. Another major challenge we saw in the early part of 2020 was the exponential increase in cloud threats faced by customers, and our adversaries rapidly shifted their focus into both the new infrastructures that were being adopted and also to leverage the new allures that COVID-19 offered. Inevitably, this left customers struggling for resource as they battled to twine challenges of implementing the new initiatives that they have, needing to support the remote working model and simultaneously adapting to the new threats in this altered infrastructure. Cybersecurity world, where the adversary is constantly innovating, McAfee is not standing still. McAfee invests heavily in innovation to ensure that your security needs continue to be met. From the advanced machine learning and artificial intelligence to being cloud first in everything we do. We hold over 1,800 patents in providing leading edge cybersecurity offerings. On this slide are just some of the techniques we have released and are being used by our customers daily. One of our core company values is to innovate without fear. And our product engineering demonstrate that value as we continue to bring new capabilities to the market. This innovation has been formally recognized by analysts and other third parties for both completeness of vision and quality of execution. Here are some of those accolades earned in the last 12 months. McAfee's MVISION Cloud becomes first CASB to map cloud threats to the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Should you need any of these links, we are happy to pass them on to you. This experience and innovation in delivering quality security outcomes has led to the McAfee brand being trusted by some of the largest enterprises and governments worldwide. McAfee is not only trusted, but our focus on product quality and satisfaction has led to material increases in our Net Promoter Score for McAfee enterprise product offerings. So this is also a reflection in McAfee's award with Gartner Peer Insights, Customer Choice Awards for 4 product categories. Our customer confidence in delivering security outcomes is not to product capabilities alone. We have a global dedicated team to work with you every step of the way in your cybersecurity journey. There is also on McAfee Labs and advanced threat research teams analyzing and responding in real time to the threat landscape it evolves. Our customer success group is always available to assist you when needed, including the ability to have our dedicated support manager within your organization. And if you need additional skills or resources for Always Together network for over 5,000 McAfee partners, or McAfee's own professional services, is always available to help. So I want to thank you for spending this time with me today. Hopefully that I've left you with some sort of understanding of how McAfee can help you and confidently face the cybersecurity challenges of today and tomorrow. I want to take you quickly through our growing the partnership with McAfee, or your partnership with McAfee. So just to start off, I just want to reiterate that at McAfee, we are channel first. We are always consistent, fair, and predictable. We're easy to do business with, and we are here to grow opportunities together. We also have some of the strategy for you guys is to invest and to grow. So one is demand generation. We have MDF funds that can be utilized. We have lead distribution and commercial sales that can help you grow your business. We also have services empowerment, so that's post-sales training, enhanced support, and MSP workshops should you want to go that route with your business. And we obviously have the ecosystem development, so that's the CSP's partnership and the marketplace, which is the SIA group. So if you have any questions around these elements, please do drop me a note and I can get that information over to you guys. From a partner perspective or partner incentive perspective, we have a net new logo bounty. We call it our most wanted campaign. This particular one shows that its expiry is for June, but it actually has been extended until the end of December. So should you bring us any net new logo, and the deal is over $100,000, we will pay out $10,000 to yourselves for closing those deals. If you can't get to $100,000, we also do have a slightly smaller one on that, also most wanted. If the deal size is over $50,000 or more, we will pay out $5,000 to yourselves. We also have the AWS customer rebate. This is very exciting. So should a customer have an AWS account with the customer, we can AWS has a promotion with McAfee. So should they buy any of the newer solutions that we're running, so MVISION products, we once the order is placed, AWS will provide the customer a rebate back to them to use within their platform. So should you want some more information around that, also please don't hesitate to contact me and we can get that information over to you. And we have part of the new partner program. We've got the Renewal protection or slash incumbency advantage program. So the incumbency program came back in April of 2021. This program protects the incumbent within the environment, and should you have done the renewal in the previous years, you then have a protection of 10% for incumbency advantage. This is a new program that aligns to our sales 2021 go-to-market strategy, so we are very excited about this. The incumbent partners will be held accountable to ensure that the McAfee, to do the McAfee with sales with McAfee. And there are detailed guidelines on our portal. Should you not have access to our partner portal, please drop me a line and we can get that over to you. In Q3 of this year, we have come out with co-branded channel campaign kits for you guys. And this is to help business transformation and remote working. So these are two different campaigns that we are running. Business transformation is we're looking at the threat intelligence within the MVISION insights, and then the simplify and consolidate security strategies for those customers. And then the remote working is the collaboration tools, securing Microsoft Teams, securing remote workforce and cloud services with the MVISION Cloud. So there's a couple of different branding kits for you that's on your portal. And basically the goal of these channel kits is to create demand generation for you guys. It's also to nurture and create the awareness for your customers. And then obviously align the marketing and McAfee campaign kits. So if I just pop over to here, these are some of the kits that you can look out for, and you can just stick your logo onto those kits, and you can then send them out. If you want to put it on a web page, you're welcome to, or an email. And with that, I want to say thank you again so much from myself at McAfee and the rest of our team that we have here. I want to thank you for your time, for listening to me. I know 45 minutes was a long time, so I hope you got some really good value out of that. If you ever need to get hold of me, please reach out. I'm happy to assist. And I wish you a fantastic rest of your day and good learnings to you.